Today's TruckLogics webinar is going to be correcting your IFTA returns. We're going to fix errors, look at the late fees, and the amendments with TruckLogics. I'm your host today. My name is James Koger, and I work with TruckLogics in business development, and I'm going to be your host. Here's a brief overview of today's webinar. We're going to work on fixing or amending a previously generated IFTA report. We're going to look at error messages and what they mean. We're going to show how to mark an amended return. And then at the end, we'll have a little question and answer period. Okay, we're going to begin our live demonstration. And I'm going to demonstrate how to fix and or amend your IFTA reports. Now, if you'll give me just a second, I'm going to deaden the screen and put in my demo account here so we can start the webinar. Okay, here we go. As always, when you log into your TruckLogics TMS account, if you are a subscriber to our TMS, you're going to come into our dashboard. If you are coming into the dashboard and you intend to do your IFTA reports, you move across the top to the IFTA tab and you click on it, and it'll take you to the IFTA dashboard. Now, for those of you who are filing and you have an IFTA only account, this is where you will start. But since we are in quarter 2, we are going to come over here and do our second quarter IFTA report, where it says continue. So we click on that. This is a previously filed report. We're going to look at it. Which trucks we want to look at? We'll look at all of them. Click next. We think we might have an error, so we're going to look at our trucks here and see if we can see something that stands out. And as we look here, we see we've got an 89 mile per gallon fuel rating on one of our trucks, and that looks to be a little bit high. We've got another one here that's getting 5.68 miles per gallon. That seems to be okay, but it looks like this one is going to have to be corrected because that's probably not right. 2,229 miles traveled and only 25 gallons of fuel listed. So let's get in here and correct that. So we're going to enter the data. We come in, it says, with all the miles on this truck, we only use 25 gallons of gas, but we look at our receipts, and instead of 25 gallons, this should have been 250 gallons. So we get in here, we're gonna take that out, and we're gonna put 250. Add it in, and now we're going to hit continue. The trip details are going to update now, and that looks a little bit better, 8.92 miles per gallon. So that looks like that is correct, or more correct, according to our receipts from fuel. So now we'll come to the bottom and we'll hit next. And it'll take us to our IFTA summary. Shows the two trucks with miles and fuel and their miles per gallon. That seems to fall in line, so we're going to hit next again. It comes to our IFTA report option. Is this a report that you are not operating a truck? That is no, because these are both on the road. Is this an amendment of an already filed IFTA report with your jurisdiction? This is going to be a yes. So we're going to click this yes, and we can hit save and continue. If this was a first report, this would be no. But since we already filed this and we know there was something wrong, we click yes, and we hit save and continue. Now this takes us over to our taxes due. And since it is still not the end of the quarter, We don't have any late fees, but we're going to owe $8.40 in IFTA tax to our local jurisdiction. We hit next. Come over here to our summary. There's our trucking company. There's our IFTA details with our base jurisdiction and our license. There's our 2 trucks, and here's our total that we're going to owe, $8.40, and we hit next. Now we come to this page and it says there were no errors found. What this is telling us is that we had fuel entered where fuel was supposed to be entered. We had miles entered where miles were supposed to be entered. It's not necessarily telling us that we put the correct numbers in, but it's just telling us that we put numbers in where numbers were supposed to be. So we'll hit next again. And this will take us to our download of our IFTA report. Now we can click back to our dashboard and it will show us right here when we hit continue that our IFTA report has been downloaded. Now, we also forgot to file our IFTA for our first quarter. So we can go back and enter the first quarter by hitting continue. We started it but never completed it. So we hit all the trucks, pick out the ones that look right. Come in here and it tells us we've got several trucks here with miles and fuel entered. So we're going to hit continue. Types of diesel and fuel here and fuel mileage. Again, we hit next. Is this an amendment of an already filed report? No, it's not. We're going to be late with this one, but it is not an amendment. So this is no. And of course they were operating, so it's a no there. Hit save. And it brings us over here to our IFTA tax that is due, and we owe $10.77. We owe $10.33 in tax, 44 cents in interest, and a $50 late fee. $51.03 in late penalties. So makes our total IFTA tax due is $61.80. We hit next. Takes us to our first quarter summary. Again, here's our trucking company, here's our IFTA details, and our trucks. Says that we owe $10.33, we owe some interest, and a late penalty for a balance of $61.80. Now it tells us we have no errors. Everything was in the right place. And now we can download our IFTA report and email it to our jurisdiction or print it out and take it with us to our jurisdiction and pay our IFTA tax and our late fees. So that's how we correct or amend a report that's already been done, and it's how we file one that is late with a late fee included. Now, I'm going to pause the screen again while I go back to my sheets. Hold on one second. Okay, here we're back. This is what an error message would look like if something were wrong. If you had an abnormal miles per gallon, it will tell you that, it's over 100 miles per gallon and you need to check something. It tells you what's wrong and you need to go back and correct it. And you can always hit the back button, which shows right here. So you can always go back and correct those. Another example is you forgot to enter your miles for a certain vehicle, or you didn't enter fuel for a certain vehicle. So it tells you what those are. And again, you hit the back button and you can go back and enter those. Very nice little system like that. Okay. That pretty much sums up how to correct any issues you have or amend any mistakes you may have made when filing your IFTA. So if there are any questions pertaining to this, you could ask them now. You enter your questions in the box right here. So far, I'm not seeing any questions. Oh, here's a question. It says, is there a charge to correct my IFTA? And that's a good question. No, there is no charge to come back in and correct your IFTA. There may be a late fee with your jurisdiction if it's in a previous quarter, or your taxes may go up if you make a correction, but there's no fee with TruckLogics for making a correction. That was a good question. Okay, it doesn't look like we're going to have any more questions. So I'd like to invite you to come next week on August 3rd for our next webinar, which Christy will be doing, Mastering the Art of Equipment Management, Adding Trucks and Managing the Truck Zone. That will be at 4 o'clock next Thursday. Here is our August webinar schedule. Revitalize Your Fleet, the Ultimate Truck Zone Maintenance webinar series. Navigating TruckLogics will be in 2 weeks. Efficient dispatching in 3. And at the end of the month, streamlining fleet maintenance. If you haven't already, be sure to sign up for your free 15-day trial of TruckLogics. Go ahead and throw my discount code in there, James10, and get 10% off your first month when you do subscribe. This is how you reach us at TruckLogics. That's our support hotline, 704-234-6946. We're there 8:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, or you can also reach us on our support email at support@trucklogics.com. And please follow us on our social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And with that, I'm going to end this webinar. Thank you so much for participating. And if you need us, this is how you get a hold of us. Thank you and have a great day.